Oh, sorry, mate. I thought it was the Evo.
You what?
You remember the last model, the Lancia Delta Integrale Evolution? It had a slightly wider track and 16-inch alloys and 215 horsepower. It had the high-back racing seats and it had the little elephant badges all over it. That's the ride I was looking for. Thanks anyway.
This week on Driven, it's the Executive Car Challenge. We're going to be putting the Renault Velsatis up against the Skoda Superb. And I'm also going to explain how this beautiful old Merc got into such a state.
And we'll be giving away this lovely Toyota Supra in a competition where we show you what happens when you mix donuts with LSD. Find out if Helen can retain her crown as Queen of Car Sumo. And we'll be showing you where Michael Schumacher has a wee.
Now, if you want to buy a luxury car that isn't a BMW, Audi or Mercedes, then you might have a bit of a problem, because the Germans have pretty much got the executive car market sewn up. But we have a couple of new choices from fairly unlikely sources with Renault and Skoda. Now, Renault have been here before with the Safran and a car that even they would admit was a fairly lousy car. But Skoda, I can imagine being proud of a key fob with the Mercedes or the BMW badge on it, but Skoda, who are they trying to kid? So our testers have been out driving all of these cars most of the day, and these are their thoughts so far.
And now it's the turn of this week's guest testers to play their part in the Driven duel. Right now, the shiny new Renault Velsatis and Skoda Superb face the challenge. First up, the Renault.
Funny shape, lovely inside. Not really my cup of tea, but nice car.
Not too keen on the Renault. I didn't like the shape of it. The inside was quite nice, but it drove well.
It's a lot better than the Skoda.
And now, the Skoda.
Very nice, yeah. Can't believe it's a diesel. It really is a pokey car.
I've just driven the Skoda Superb and I think it's a quality car.
I think it's very good. It's good for its money.
Now that you've driven it, what was it like?
Fantastic drive.
Really?
Yep, I want one.
And compared to the Renault?
A lot better.
So Skoda seem to have taken an early lead, but our testers have got just half an hour to make up their minds.
What was your favourite film as a kid, Jess?
I was a big fan of Driver.
How do we know you're that good? Get in.
You know the one with Ryan O'Neill and that Merc?
In the underground car park?
Yeah, where he smashes it up.
Orange one.
Really cool, doesn't say a lot. In fact, doesn't smile. Just sits there deadpan.
The 1978 film The Driver starred ex-stuntman Ryan O'Neill, directed by Walter Hill, who worked on Bullet. The film's most famous scene involves a Mercedes and an underground car park. Now, this is a daft stunt and it takes real skill. I had to have some training before I could take it on. So I took an almost dead Mercedes 250 SE to a disused warehouse in an attempt to recreate that famous scene. In the film, Ryan O'Neill systematically demolishes the car, smashing wings, tearing off bumpers and doors, and stretching the nerves of his passengers to breaking point. First up, the rear wing. Banging into a wall might sound easy, but they certainly built those old Benzes tough. Slamming into the brick wall didn't do it that much damage at all. It was like driving an Arga into a hedge. Was the front any easier?
Oh, okay!
No. Even with a full force of 6 cylinders shoving into the wall. We needed more commitment, Ryan O'Neill style, and then the Benz would suffer. So how did our reconstruction measure up?
So how do we know you're that good?
Let's get it in.
Whoa, man!
Yes, we really did wrench that door off. That was great. The only problem was I went a bit too far and killed the Merc.
Now, that Voltatis may look a little bit strange, but it's not the first executive to look like it's landed from outer space. There's always the 1970s Austin Princess.
This is the car that sets new standards in design and finish. This is a born leader.
Now, if you watched last week's show, you'll remember that we launched our bid to get this brown wedge taken seriously and to get put on the front cover of Classic Car magazine.
No, it's not a classic, never will be. End of story.
She's very smooth, George.
Hydrogas suspension, sir.
This is a marvellous new car, George.
Now, since last week, there has been a massive groundswell of support for this princess. Even the big brother, former inmate Alex Sibley, who's also a car nut, has been parading this princess around the celebrity circuit.
The Leyland Princess has looks that set people talking.
Oh, thank you. Oh, hello, sir. Please come out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, camera. My initial thoughts on it, I thought, what were you driving a car like that for? And then I thought, it probably suits you quite well.
Oh, thank you. I'm about to meet a guy from Bonham's at the Classic Car Club.
Can we hear it run? It's obviously got fresh MOT on it. It's straight, isn't it? Contemporary colour. There were quirkier aspects to the interior that the HLS, the top-of-the-range model, had.
In a new Leyland Princess, you feel at one with the car. Dipping interior mirror for safe night driving. And a new 3-speed heating ventilation system is fitted to the Princess series.
So bottom line, how much is it worth? What could I get for it now?
I think your trainers are probably worth the same.
No.
You'd probably get a little bit of change out of £150.
Oh, that much? Oh.
The only way you can make this car more valuable is by making it famous.
I'll do my best, but will you be able to come back up later on in the series and value it again and have a little look?
Alex, I'd be delighted.
Thank you very much, Tim. Thanks for coming down today. Only £150 for this? I mean, it's worth more than that. I mean, not £150, I'm sorry. I think when I go back and see him, he'll give me a different price, I think, because this car's definitely worth more than 150 quid.
Welcome to Driven Sumo, where we have two fading Japanese road warriors going at it in a fight to the death, or until one of them pushes the other one out of the ring. Now, last week, Helen and her little Mizan Micra, which only weighs in at 80 quid, was victorious.
So what was Helen's technique for winning? Don't laugh, there was one. Fine clutch control and keeping the engine revs high are all important, but so is keeping the pressure on the other driver so he never gets a chance.
But this week, she's up against Luke in a Nissan Cherry.
Helen is still a farmer's daughter in spite of her crushing victory last week, but it's certainly confirmed her prowess with heavy machinery. This week she's up against some male opposition. Luke is a frustrated bodybuilder who's into fashion, although that clearly doesn't apply today. He's confident of a win. After all, he's up against a girl.
So, let's get on with it. Ready? Right, here they go for a fight. Go, 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 go. Luke is not doing anything. He has been beaten by Helen. Go on, Luke, get in there.
Hang on, no one said we're doing it.
Go on, Luke, push. Her wheels are spinning away. She's got big wheels spin on. Yeah! She's done it. Well done, Helen. That was fantastic work. You're pretty good at this, aren't you? Well done. Good work.
Helen, despite being a girl, absolutely annihilated Luke and his Nissan Cherry. He obviously needs to brush up on his technique. So what if you're losing like Luke? Well, slam on the brakes. It makes your car harder to push.
Well, join us after the break, see if Helen can beat Luke in round 2. Luke, you were useless.
Sponsored by Direct Line Rescue. By Direct Line Rescue.
Welcome back to part 2 and back with our Driven Sumo. Now, before the break, Helen was victorious. Let's see if she can do it again. Remember, it's over 3 rounds. She's got another go. Here we go. Right, in she goes. Go on now, Luke's having a fight back this and she's gone. That's it. She's done it again. Well done, girl. Luke, what is up with you?
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
You're beaten by a young defenceless girl in an 80-pound Nissan Micra. You come along with your Nissan Cherry 1.3-litre engine. You thought you could do this, didn't you?
Not really, no.
You're not very good at it, are you?
No, well, the best lady won on this occasion, so well done.
What can we learn from Luke's defeat? Well, you don't want to be stalling when you're being slammed backwards. It's damn hard to turn the key, and if you've stalled, put the handbrake on.
Well done, very, very good work. You must be happy. That's over 2 rounds, you've won. You've won again. So that means you've got to come back next week and have another fight.
Well, bring it on.
Will the car last? That's what we want to know.
I don't think the clutch will last much longer.
Now, about half of our testers have driven these cars and the rest will drive them shortly. But before we go any further, I want to know from the manufacturers why we should buy their cars.
Come on, spin!
So, I have 2 representatives here, one from Renault and one from Skoda, and I'm going to give them 30 seconds to sell us their cars. Now, this is Jean-Michel Pignoli, who's brand manager of Renault. Jean-Michel, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
OK, your time, no waffling, please, starts now.
We at Renault, following the success we've had in groundbreaking designs with the Scenic and the Espace, have taken a totally different approach to the executive segment. We've decided to look at the needs and wants of the executive buyer and to design a car from the inside out. And we've introduced new technology on the car, like the automatic parking brake, which creates additional space, and the great comfort seats, which are standard, unique in the segment, so that we have the most spacious and the most comfortable car in the segment, and as big as an S-Class Mercedes for around half the...
Oh, well, yeah, well, that's it. Very good. I'm pretty convinced. Anyone else? Very good, very good. Now, listen, we've got Kirsten Ireland, who's product and planning manager of Skoda. Are you ready for this? You're going to have a hard job to sell us this Skoda. Are you ready?
Yes.
Go.
With more and more people losing their reservations about owning a Skoda, it's become the intelligent choice. Skoda have actually been making cars for over 100 years now, and the new Superb is just the latest demonstration of how far our brand has moved on. We're convinced that the new Superb will surprise even the most ardent Skoda skeptic, and in fact the surprises start at just $14,200 for our entry-level model. Skodas are cars for people who aren't prepared to compromise on style, safety or value for money.
Oh, you just missed it by 1 second. OK, well, let's find out a little bit more. You're standing by the Skoda. Is it superb? Would you go for something like this?
It is. I've had a very good look at it and I've drove it as well, so it's top marks for me.
You reckon? And how embarrassed would you be about the badge on the front there?
That's the only bit I'm a bit worried about.
It's still a problem, is it?
It is still a problem.
I think it's a really cracking car inside, but the badge still could be an issue for people. Let's wander over here, see who we can find to talk about. Where are you? You're trying to hide. Let's have a word with you. What about this Renault? Is this a bit wacky? A bit too odd?
It's fantastic inside, but the styling outside is questionable.
As an executive motor, what does this say about you?
That you're different.
Our guest testers are busy trying the Skoda and Renault for size, but what does Penny think?
Volkswagen bought out Skoda and they have invested everything they can possibly invest in changing the image of Skoda. It's got fantastic steering, great performance, very comfortable, masses of space, and I'm really enjoying driving it.
Forget the badge, the Superb has all the luxury you'd expect of an executive motor. Skoda could never have made it a decade ago. But remember, if this was a Rover, we'd be saying how ordinary it was. But the powerful V6 suits its executive pretensions. It's well made, rides smoothly, and outhandles the Renault.
Unlike the Skoda, which is based on the Volkswagen Passat, this Renault is based on nothing that's ever been built before, so I do take my hat off to Renault for a very brave decision with a brand new car.
The Vel Satis takes some getting used to, but it is different. More about comfort than cornering, it has a particularly luxurious and spacious interior. The diesel motor is fairly refined, but it can't match the Skoda's relaxed V6 diesel. And it's a bit disappointing in the ride and handling department.
Here at at Driven, we settle those questions that car enthusiasts really want to know, not whether the Ferrari Daytona is a better car than the 250 GTO, because nobody really cares. What they do care about, though, is what is LSD.
Now, an LSD basically transfers grip to the wheel, which has the most across the rear axle. So it enables you to steer the car with the throttle and also do daft things like donuts. Now, later on the show, we're going to be giving away this Toyota Supra in our bizarre donut competition.
Just recently, Ferrari launched their new 660 brake horsepower monster called the Enzo. It cost a staggering £420,000. We sent our motoring editor and resident car guru along to give it a try. His name's Richard Bremner. Now, when Richard talks, people listen.
And we're driving down towards Fiorano racetrack now. I mean, basically, this is just an industrial estate, a bit unromantic in a way. Over there, you can see a huge tile factory. I mean, ceramic tiles are the other thing that Maranello does, I guess, besides Ferrari. Not quite as exciting as Ferraris, though. Over here, unbelievably, just the kind of thing you have in your back garden. Well, I suppose you do if you're Jeremy Clarkson, but a fighter jet. And over here are the toilets. And I guess it's conceivable that, or very likely in fact, that Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello and Gerhard Berger and Jean Alesi have used these toilets. We're just going to go and see what they're like. Well, you don't get a throne, you get a hole in the ground.
With 660 horsepower, the Enzo is the most powerful production car yet. And with that much power, just staying on the road is a challenge. So how come Richard didn't go off? Well, because this Ferrari has an amazing traction control system. It delivers the power so the car doesn't fire you off the road. It's a guardian angel, and that means you can let rip in this car and look like a hero. All you've got to do is decide when to brake. Luckily, the Enzo has Formula 1 style carbon fibre discs that stop you like you've just driven into a vat of glue. This car should be an absolute sensation, and unlike most supercars, it doesn't scare you senseless.
So this is it, we're about to go and drive this thing. Pretty tense moment. Quite difficult to get in. There's the seat. There's the red start button. And nothing happens. Because I haven't got the ignition on. First gear. I just caught that horn there. It's actually, the button is buried in the rim, and I've just discovered it's a bit too easy to knock on. Braking hard, third gear, second gear, hairpin bend. Full throttle, third, fourth. Amazing view out of this cockpit. It's a bit like a jet fighter in a way, not that I've ever been in such a thing. I just noticed this weird little window winder here. There's no electric windows to save weight. You just have to turn this. It doesn't really matter about the windows not being electric because of course it does have air conditioning so you can keep cool. But amazingly, no radio or stereo because again, weight saving, and in any case, the soundtrack is the engine. Bit of understeer here. Absolutely got it nailed now. Full throttle, 660 horsepower. Changes it up at 8.2. Better slow down. Amazing how quiet it is, really. Into the pits. How was that, Richard? Absolutely unbelievable. because it's all over so fast. And words fail me, really.
That £420,000 Enzo makes these 24 grand cars look pretty cheap, but they're still luxury cars, this Renault and the Skoda, and I can't believe I'm saying Skoda and luxury in the same sentence. But just think about it, hundreds of millions of pounds have been spent on building, developing and marketing these cars to executives. Now, our testers have sunk into their leather seats, they've tested the texture of the trim, they've blasted the stereos at 70 miles an hour, and they've pressed more buttons and switches than a scientist at mission control. And now it's time for them to make up their minds. So audience, please stand by the car of your choice. Who'd have thought this, eh? It's an absolute landslide. Well done, Skoda. Who'd have thought it? You've won the executive group test. Pleased?
Absolutely fabulous.
Bit surprised, perhaps?
Pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised. OK, well, it's an absolute landslide for the Skoda, and we think that's fantastic. Right, now you come with me, because we've got a car to win. Well, I found two willing members of our audience, Rob.
Robin Ellis is a farmer from Woodbridge.
And Phil.
Philip Reed is a farmer from Woodbridge.
The idea of this little game, in you get, is that the first person to eat the most amount of donuts, whilst Jason does 10 donuts, wins the car. It's quite simple. There's your lot.
I'm out. I'm getting out. He's going to throw. Get up. He's going to chuck.
That's nice. How many did you get down? You did two? Oh, OK, well, there's a tiebreaker. You both are going to have to jump out and I'll do a tiebreaker. Look at the state of you.
Well, lovely work, fella.
Out you come. Oh, you've even kept yours in the tray. That's not bad. No, stand there. There's a tiebreaker. First person to answer this question wins this beautiful car. And you can keep the donuts if you like. What does LSD stand for?
Limited slip diff.
Nice one. The car's yours, matey. Well.
Nice work. It's not every day you win a car, is it?
Cheers.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us this time. Hope you enjoyed it. We certainly did.
Join us next week on Driven when we hit the road in an aerial Atom. Attempt to recreate that Peugeot 206 ad. And give away a Citroën 2CV in a bizarre competition involving eggs. Fancy yourself as an in-car performer? Well, send us your videotapes of your behind-the-wheel crooning. We've got prizes for the most dynamic and the least. Details from channel4.com/4car.
Makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody does me better.